Hello everybody, welcome to Fandiversity. My name is Cyrus and today I'm gonna recap and review X-Men from 2000. We did the Blade 1998, which you can see on the channel. It's in a playlist for the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse Recap. So let's get started. Ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da da ba ba da da da. I'm gonna shut up now. We end up in Poland, 1944, where we see a child and he's taken away from his mother. And the child starts moving the gate with his mind, and that's when we find out, well, you can basically imply that this is Magneto. We go to the not too distant future, which is 2000 or the early 2000s, where we meet Rogue. Kisses her boyfriend and then he starts to die. We find out that mutations hidden during puberty at this conference with all these senators, and we find out, or we start seeing the racist tones because the senators don't like mutants. They don't like being in the same world as them, which is what this whole series is about, is this theme of racism, basically.
Only further
expose themselves. What is it the mutant community has to hide, I wonder, that makes them so afraid to identify themselves?
I didn't say they were hiding.
Well, let me show you what is being hidden, Miss Gray. I have here a list of names of identified mutants.
We are introduced to Professor Charles Xavier, played by Sir Patrick Stewart, and Magneto, played by I forgot his name. Magneto calls Charles an old friend, referring to their past, and that's what they're gonna say at every single movie. Rogue gets a ride from a trucker to a city, and she goes inside of a building that has a cage ring. We see our first fight with Logan, and he wins. This is Logan, aka Wolverine, played by the great Hugh Jackman. Who's gonna reprise his role in Deadpool 3.
Hey Hugh, you wanna play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
News says that the world leaders are meeting up at Liberty Island to see what they want to do with the mutants. Wolverine takes out his claws for the first time at the bar, and for 2000, the CGI for his claws look really good. Now, a few years later for X-Men Origins, they somehow look way worse. Logan gets to his truck and eventually finds Rogue inside the back, so he tries to abandon her but feels guilty, and she gets inside the truck with him. Rogue notices Logan's dog tags, and he references to him being in the army, which will be explored in X-Men Origins and the Wolverine. If you didn't know this, Logan, every time he takes out his claws, he actually feels it. He just puts all to the pain and yells it out and then fights. Rogue says that Logan should wear a seatbelt, which you kids should, and he instantly gets thrown out the window. And we get to see his regeneration.
You alright?
Which is way better than whatever Blade did.
Too late, Blade.
Sabretooth and Wolverine fight, and Logan basically instantly gets defeated. Storm and Cyclops show up and save the day. Storm played by Halle Berry, and Cyclops played by the guy from Sonic. Sabretooth goes to the villain's lair, and we see Magneto use his powers to do like the sciencey thing for the law of gravity. We see Magneto's numbers on his arm from his time in the camp. We also see his helmet, which he's going to use later in the movie to block Professor X's mind. Wolverine in a hospital-like place, and we don't know where it is. And that's where we meet Jean Grey, and she has telekinesis. And in the future, she will become the Phoenix Force twice. Logan wakes up, runs away. He goes through all the tunnels and finds himself a nice little hoodie. Keeps hearing a voice.
Where are you going?
He keeps hearing Patrick Stewart's voice. An elevator opens, so he goes inside of it. At the top, he sees a bunch of kids, and it's like some kind of school. He eventually gets to a room where he meets Professor Charles Xavier.
I'm Charles Xavier. Would you like some breakfast?
And they introduce themselves. And Professor Xavier introduces us to Storm, Jean Grey, and Cyclops.
Sabretooth. Storm. What do they call you? Wheels?
And this place is called Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Professor X gives a tour to Logan. Rogue meets Bobby, who is going to be Iceman, who is going to be in the next movie as an important character. We find out that about Magneto's motive. His motive is he feels like no one can treat mutants right, so he'll just kill all the humans. And he has many plans throughout these movies. In this one, he's going to give them mutant powers, and then eventually, with those mutant powers, they'll kill themselves. Mystique, who is a villain in this one, but for some reason turns to a hero in later ones, disguises herself as an agent and brings a senator to the bad guy's hideout. Jean gives Logan a CAT scan and finds out he ages slowly and his bones are made of adamantium.
The metal is an alloy called adamantium, supposedly indestructible. It's been surgically grafted to his entire skeleton.
How could he have survived a procedure like that?
His mutation. He has uncharted regenerative capability.
Which is the X-Men movies, the Fox, their version of Vibranium, basically. But in Marvel Comics, they're in the same place. Originally, Captain America's shield in the comics is made of adamantium, and Vibranium is just for Wakanda. But now that the MCU is gonna start having X-Men, they're probably gonna have both because they need Logan to have this blood. Magneto tests the machine on the senator and it's all crazy and stuff. Found out that Xavier is teaching Jean Grey to read minds because he's old. He's gonna die someday. So she will be the person to take over Cerebro and the whole house. Jean goes through Logan's mind and we find out some of his past, which is all going to be explored in the next movie and I guess every single X-Men movie. This franchise isn't even X-Men. This is just Wolverine, okay? When he wakes up, he accidentally stabs Rogue in the chest. And so she touches him and she starts to get healed while Logan is slowly dying. But since Logan can heal, she gets healed. And yeah, everybody is perfectly fine. So basically Rogue's powers is when she touches a person, she gains that person's powers or energy. And that's how she was able to heal so quickly. So the senator starts to go through the bars of his cell. That's when we find out the machine gives people mutations and he falls into the ocean. So the senator makes it to a beach and he heals himself. Bobby tells Rogue that if she wants to stay safe, she has to just leave school. So she does, and Xavier goes to Cerebro, where this is going to be the same Cerebro every single movie. In Cerebro, it's a machine that's able to go to the brain waves of anyone in the world. mutants and humans both. And he can just put this helmet on, he can just think. So he goes to Cerebro and finds Rogue. So she's at a train station.
She's at the train station.
Logan takes Cyclops' motorcycle to go find Rogue, and eventually he makes it to her.
Where's my motorcycle?
Find out that Mystique disguised herself as Bobby to get Rogue out, and now she's in the X-Mansion. So she puts this stuff into Cerebro, and it'll be used later. Train leaves the station, and the villains start invading everything. Toad makes Cyclops' glasses off, and Storm hits Sabretooth with lightning. And for the early 2000s, literally the first 2000, these are pretty good VFX. Magneto starts the train and completely destroys it. And he starts to crush Logan with his adamantium body, which is cool. And then it's gonna be used in every single one of these movies. He's gonna start touching them, it's like, it's gonna happen every time.
What the hell do you want with me?
You? My divine. Whoever said I wanted you?
Find out that Magneto doesn't want Logan, he wants Rogue. And his plan is to use all her power to put all the power into the world leaders to make them mutants. So they kidnap her and run to all the police, and it's a pretty cool scene. Magneto throws all their cars at them and points the guns back at them, which will be referenced a lot in other movies. Xavier starts controlling Sabretooth and Toad to stop him, and Professor X is in a conflict on killing Magneto or not, because they've known each other their whole life. So Magneto turns on all the guns, loads them, and so Charles just stops mind controlling. Mystique gets a helicopter and they all escape. The senator from earlier makes it to the X-Mansion, and Jean takes a look at him. Xavier goes into the senator's mind to find out how all this happened, and that's when the heroes find out everything. And he literally starts walking inside of his memories, which will be used in Multiverse of Madness when he talks to Wanda. Charles says that the machine almost killed Magneto, and that's another reason he needs Rogue. The senator explodes into water in a pretty gross scene, but it's so good seeing this now, and it's just like, how is this better than She-Hulk? And it came 22 years before. Xavier puts on Cerebro, but that stuff that Mystique put in puts Charles into a coma. Jean goes into Cerebro and almost dies, but finds out where Magneto's going, and it's gonna be at Liberty Island. Magneto plans on putting the machine on top of Liberty Island to turn all the world leaders into mutants. They reference the yellow spandex from the cartoon. That's pretty cool.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
X-Men make it to the Liberty Island, so Magneto starts putting his powers inside of Rogue. X-Men make it to the Liberty Island, so Magneto starts putting his powers inside of Rogue. They get to the inside of Liberty, and Logan starts fighting Mystique disguised as him, so it's totally not at all confusing of what's going on. They get to the inside, Toad comes in and starts fighting them, makes all this sticky stuff on Jean's face, which reminds me of Alien. Cyclops takes all the alien stuff off with Jean Grey. Storm electrocutes Toad in the most hilarious joke I've ever heard in my entire life.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Mystique's transform as Storm, so Logan just stabs her because he's like, I smell you, bub. All of the metal puts the X-Men on the side, of Liberty's head, because Magneto did that because I guess he good at metal or something. Logan breaks out by cutting himself, Sabretooth goes to inspect, but Logan just stabs him. They stay, Magneto and Logan and everybody starts fighting on the Statue of Liberty's head. Magneto starts giving Rogue her powers, and that's starting to kill him. And Logan is pushed off but holds on with his claws. Jean gets Cyclops' glasses back to him, and they basically kill Sabretooth, like he's dead now. Storm and Jean Grey use their powers to get Logan to save Rogue. Magneto starts to warp Logan's claws again, and Cyclops laser eyes Magneto, saving the city. Oh my gosh. Now they have a little bit of character development, because Cyclops saved Wolverine. Rogue gets her white streak from the comics, also from Frozen. But when Logan touches her, he doesn't die. Then a few seconds later, he does start dying to bring her back to life. Police find Mystique disguised, and they take her in. Back at the X-Mansion, Professor Xavier wakes up. On the other side of the room, we see that Logan's on the other side. I don't know why I said on the other side twice, but it's from when he was touching Rogue. You see that he's fully alive and well now. The Senator is also alive. It's revealed to be Mystique because for some reason she likes to just do this thing with her eyeballs. Logan leaves the school, but Rogue goes up to meet with him. They say their goodbyes, and Logan steals Cyclops' bike, which is pretty cool. We see Magneto in prison playing chess with Xavier in like this plastic prison, which is pretty cool, but also kind of stupid. They say, "Goodbye, old friend," for the last time of the movie. The movie ends.
Don't hold me forever. The war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it. By any means necessary.
And I will always be there, old friend.
Also, the X-Men theme is a little bit in it. So my review is it's pretty good for its time. It started off Kevin Feige's career in Marvel, and I think that was Blade. This might have been it. I don't know, but he started his movies with this, and you can see how he has improved since 2000, and it's just an amazing movie. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Bye! Also, what did you guys think of X-Men 2000?